Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm back for another Slim Sports interview. As always, I'm your host, Jay Slim, and joining me today is the guy that I've known since my high school days. He's a couple years younger than me. I was a senior when he was a sophomore, so I've seen him grow into the phenomenal DB that he is now for the USF Bulls. I'm talking about the rising star at the college football level, Tavin Ward. What's going on, man?
Playing, doing what they do well.
Valari back at quarterback, downfield, intercepted.
That doesn't help you. And, you know, Valari's coming in, they're faking the run a little RPO, but, you know, he's got to get the ball down the field. The receiver gets nudged out of bounds right there.
What's up, man? Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely, man. Excited to finally get you on. I've been wanting to get you on for a while because, like I said, I've seen you grow. Saw you at the high school level where you just dominated down in Southwest Florida. Took a year where you went to a prep school, post-grad season, redshirted 2022 season for the Bulls, and this past year finally got to see some action for South Florida, playing at the Division I level of college football where every athlete wants to end up playing. Talk to me real quick about this past season. What did it mean to you to finally be able to step foot on the field and play Division I football?
Oh man, like you said, it's every kid's dream to go play Division I football. So the moment I stepped on the field, it was so surreal. It was like I finally made it. Everything I worked for is finally here, and now it's just time to show the world what I got and keep grinding, man.
Absolutely. And you had some Division I offers, I believe, out of high school, and you took that post-grad year to still, enhance your grades and improve your skill set as well. And you played at Palmetto Prep in the 2021 season. Ended up getting a whole lot of really good schools offering you. I know Eastern Illinois, Sanford were on there. You had some
Mhm.
top fives looking at you, giving you invites. I believe South Carolina was one of them. And
Yeah.
ranked the #1 defensive back by 247 Sports at that prep level. What would you say that prep year, that post-grad year really did for you to help you get to where you are now?
I feel like that post grad season helped me bet on myself, as you would say. I feel like I knew I had the talent to go wherever I wanted. I feel like I just needed to get in front of the eyes and show coaches that I also had that talent.
Yeah, and you definitely did that, man. I mean, being the #1 ranked DB at that prep level, I mean, as you all know, there's a lot of really talented players at that level across the country that you're competing with to earn those offers. You ended up doing that, stepped in, redshirted that 2022 season where you got to learn the system, learn even more, develop your game. And this past season, finally got to step foot on the field, produced for them. And not only did you get to be a part of their rotation, you ended up earning that starting role there late in the season. Talk to me real quick about earning that starting role full time. When did that kind of happen where the coaching staff realized, all right, we want you out there with our first 11 players on the defensive side, to help get us started?
I feel like I've showed the coaches glimpses throughout the whole season. I was getting in just a little bit here and a little bit there. I was making plays whenever I was in the game, and at this level, it's all about trust. Do you know the playbook? Can the coaches trust you to be out there on the field and not make the same mistakes over and over again? Getting that starting spot was just building that trust with the coaches, building that trust with the players, and just displaying my talent to everybody.
Yeah, and you did that, man. 38 total tackles on the season, 26 of them being solo. You had 8 pass deflections, had a pair of interceptions, which we'll get into that here in a little bit because I rewatched those interceptions. I don't know how many times on YouTube, especially when I get to Syracuse. Uh, so definitely excited for you with that. And like I said, you got to develop your game so much this past season, being able to finally see the field as that full-time player. How would you say you really grew your game the most this past year in 2023?
I'd say the off season for sure. Like whenever the season's over and everybody's going home, you can't just like stop working and go out and party and do this and that. You have to continue to work, continue to grind. Know that you're not just trying to compete with the people at your school, but you're trying to compete with everybody in the country. You're trying to go to the NFL. So just grinding in the off season and knowing that you want to be in the league is definitely gonna help you.
Yeah, and your team ended up going 7-6 overall this past season, 4-4 in American Conference action, which that conference obviously very tough conference right there. You got a win over Syracuse in the Boca Raton Bowl, where you ended up getting that interception, like I talked about. You also had an interception against FAU, and both of those, I mean, highlights. Like I said, I watched them a ton of times. I got to ask you, as that guy who's being that ball hawk, getting those pass deflections, those interceptions, Which one was your favorite? The one against FAU or the one against Syracuse?
You see, that's a hard choice for me because the one against FAU, that was my first pick, like at the collegiate level, and the one at Syracuse, that was a bowl game interception. So both of those are kind of hard to it's kind of hard to decipher through those. I got to go with the FAU one though, just because it was my first one in college.
Looking deep into double coverage, and it's intercepted at the 3-yard line. Picked off by Tavin Ward.
Oh yeah, and they hyped you up on the announced team. I mean, they were saying Tavin Ward's name quite a bit. They were excited for you, and I'm sure you're going to get a whole lot more picks throughout your collegiate career. And that Boca Raton Bowl, like you said, being able to go against Syracuse, where you guys just ended up dominating them throughout that game. Talk me real quick about that bowl game for the Bulls. What was it where you guys were able to just dominate right off the bat to where you were able to grab that huge bowl game in your freshman or first season playing for the Bulls?
I feel like we hadn't been to a bowl game in years. University of South Florida, they hadn't been as good as they were supposed to be. So going to this bowl game is like we were hungry, I would say. Like we knew what we were coming for. We practiced all month almost just for this team, just to go out there and show the world what we had. So that was it.
Oh yeah, and I definitely can see USF having a lot more success throughout these upcoming seasons. And I know obviously, you guys did have a winning season this past year, but probably not the record that you would have liked to have. There were some, games where you kind of left them on the table where you knew you should have grabbed those wins. Talk to me real quick about what do you feel is needed for this South Florida team to take that next step up to where they can go from a 7-6 record to, having a 10-3 record?
I feel like just growth all around. I think our offense is pretty good right now. I feel like we'd have to get off the field more on third down and not give up so many first downs. I think we're allowing teams to score too much on us. So I feel like if we can cut that number in half, we definitely have a shot.
Yeah, and you guys have a very tough upcoming schedule, of course, being in that American Conference and some tough non-conference games as well. You guys already are preparing for these upcoming games. I'm sure you guys are already looking at that very first team you're going against in the season. Talk to me real quick about your thoughts on this upcoming schedule and what's in store for the Bulls in 2024.
Like you said, man, it's a tough season, but we're not gonna back down. We're gonna keep working like we have been all year. We're gonna continue to do the things that are right on and off the field to make sure that we approach each game week as we should. We're not gonna approach any week different than the other week. So if we play Bama or if we play Southern Miss, we're not gonna approach that differently than when we play Bethune-Cookman.
Absolutely, man. I mean, you guys are going to have a very tough schedule, and you obviously going into your second year now on the field, looking to retain that starting role, be one of those main guys and a leader on the defensive side of the ball. Talk real quick about how you're looking to continue to grow that game of yours, which already you have so much in your bag already. What else are you looking to add to your game or improve on going into your sophomore campaign?
Going to this next season, I want to learn more of the defense. I want to learn just more than the corner spot or just more than the safety spot. I want to learn the nickel. I want to learn where my help will be from the linebackers, maybe the linemen. Maybe we have a defensive end dropping out into a coverage. I want to learn where I get more help from so I can be more lenient towards those and help me make plays.
Yeah, and we've talked a lot about on the field, all that stuff. This interview, pre-recorded, as a lot of people know, it will come out in August. Right now, we're in July, a week away from the EA Sports college football video game coming out, which I know I'm going to be playing as USF. I'm sure you're going to be playing as yourself. I want to ask you, first game that you play on there, how many picks are you getting as yourself in the game?
I got to have 7. I need 7. I need 7 picks.
How many of them are going to the house?
6. I'm going to trip and fall on one of them.
You gotta expect it. Gotta expect it, man. Really excited to see what you do, not just in the college football video game, but for the Bulls on the field this upcoming season. Like I said, man, I've been following your career since the high school days. We used to be in the weight room together, where as a sophomore, you were out lifting me as a senior, which aggravated me to no end, but definitely paid off, and excited for you. And thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule to do this interview with me, man. Really does mean a lot.
For sure, man. Again, I appreciate you having me, man.